All right, guys. So we got to talk about Charlamagne, who, for whatever reason, Fox News is very interested in. Okay, they've done some interviews with him, and part of one of his interviews that they did, he said something that I found to be very interesting, in which he discussed the debate about whether or not kids should be able to transition under the age of 18. And again, the political kind of environment around this discussion. And he actually went on to complain about how he gets labeled transphobic for simply saying that there should be a conversation about whether or not kids should be allowed to physically, chemically, or surgically castrate themselves before the age of 18. And I want you guys to check it out. Take a look.
I think it's a legitimate debate to be had. And it's the things like that bother me because it's like, yo, we're not even allowing ourselves to have the conversation. Like, you're just putting these labels on people. Like, I'm transphobic because I feel like I'm, just using a little common sense here. To your point, there's just certain things minors cannot do because they're minors. So you don't think something as big as changing your gender shouldn't wait until you're at least 18? Like, that's just like the fact that people can't even have a conversation about that without labeling somebody transphobic is very, 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 very strange to me, because it's not like these people are saying, no, we don't want anybody transitioning, or being trans is wrong. They're simply saying, hey, let these minors wait until they're of a certain age. That's not where I think that's very worthy of a conversation. And I think that you're cheating those kids by not having the conversation. Like, you're just shutting things down. Like, let's all come to the table and talk about it and discuss these things. I think it definitely warrants a conversation. You shouldn't just label somebody transphobic because they're saying, hey man, I think that this is a big decision for a kid to make, and maybe they should wait until they're older. Like, that's just common sense to me. But who am I, Joseph?
Yeah. Welcome to my world, right? Our world. Okay. This is the world that we live in. Okay, where people on Charlamagne Tha God's side of the aisle, this is what they do when they want to stop conversation about anything, right? If you want to talk about crime, and who's committing, a lot of these crimes and these acts of violence that we're seeing in these inner liberal cities, they say that you're racist, right? It is racist to talk about crime. If you question the election as a Republican, that is, or a conservative, you are an election denier. If you want a strong border and you are against illegal immigration, then you are xenophobic. If you don't want to go along with the leftist narrative on COVID or climate change, then you are a science denier, right? Again, this is something that the left does. This is a product of the left. And Charlamagne, who's on the left, I believe Charlamagne is a progressive. He's complaining about something that, again, comes from his side of the political aisle, right? When he has one issue where he actually has some common sense and he says, well, maybe we should stop and think and have a real conversation about whether or not kids should be allowed to transition. Now he wants to get upset about labels being unjustly thrown on people, right? Ain't it funny how that works? These people, they only complain about the smearing from the left when they experience the smearing from the far left. Because again, if you're on the left, you have to agree with the far left is 100%. If you don't agree with the far left is 100%, again, you're racist, you're sexist, you're homophobic, you're transphobic, you're some type of bigot. That is the go-to word from the Democrats in order to shut down any type of conversation or debate because they don't want to engage in a debate. Right. And then the debate about whether or not minors should be able to transition their sex, whether they should be able to castrate themselves chemically, surgically, physically, whatever. That is a debate that they're going to lose every single time in the eyes of the general public because most people do not agree with that. Right. They don't agree with it. However, because you have people in the Democrat Party who are weak and spineless as well when it comes to the progressive mob, and they also kind of agree with it as well too. They're not going to push back against something that they know is wrong, right? Because they don't want to be labeled as transphobic, right? The same reason why they didn't want to criticize the BLM riots, even though they know that it was wrong. These people were committing acts of violence. Well, they didn't want to be called racist. Again, those labels that are thrown on people are labels that are thrown on people in order to shut down debate, right? So that people can't be against what the mob wants, right? And again, people on the left, they only push back against it when they aren't far left enough, and then they start getting labeled, right? Again, it's just funny how that works when you really shouldn't be doing that in the first place, especially when it comes to real policy discussions like illegal immigration. It's not legitimate to just label somebody a bigot or xenophobic because they say, hey, look, I want strong borders. Okay, I don't want illegal immigrants in this country. That's not legitimate, right? It's not legitimate to label somebody racist simply because they don't believe that we need to defund the police, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, again, this is what the left engages in all the time, right? This is what they engage in all the time. Again, it's just funny seeing Charlamagne have a problem with it when he is subject to the slander, right, in the labels, because on at least one issue, just one issue here, he actually has some common sense. It's just kind of funny how it works. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.